There are many bitter debates in the gun world, AK versus AR, 9mm versus 45, and of course, lights versus walkers. If you've ever fired your gun and only then realized you'd forgotten to put on your ear pro, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hi, Moondog here with my best impersonation of Garen Thumb, who I'm a big fan of, by the way, and I'll include a link to his most recent video in my description. But today, I'm going to be reviewing the two most popular brands of hearing protection ear pro on the market, the Howard Leight Impact Sports and the Walker Razor Slims. Now, for those of you who are familiar with electronic ear pro, go ahead and skip to the review section. But for everybody else, especially you new gun owners out there, and there are millions of you out there, please, let me take a moment to educate you on the basics of ear pro. Okay, for those of you who have never worn or never bought a pair of electronic earmuffs, here's how they work. And I just want to clarify that these are not the same as the noise-canceling headphones like the Bose or Sony or Beats noise-canceling headphones that you buy to listen to music. Even though they sometimes are advertised as noise-canceling, don't be confused. These don't work the same way. Those noise-canceling headphones use the principle of canceling sine waves of sound. So how they work is that they have microphones on the outside that listen to the ambient noise around you, and they create the opposite shape of the sound wave inside your headphones. So they effectively negate the sound of annoying sounds like, say, the neighbor's lawnmower, or the sound of the jet engine as you're taking a flight on a plane, or your air conditioning at the office. These don't work that way. They work on a much sort of simpler principle of blocking the sound simply by the materials. They are function the same way as sort of dumb or unelectronic or simple earmuffs. They cover your ears, they have sound insulation, and they're made of plastic. They're effectively like taking your hands and covering your ears. You block out the outside sound. And all legit safety earmuffs give you or list a NRR, or noise reduction rating, and that tells you how many decibels of noise, of sound, they block. And both of these have roughly 22, 23 NRR. So what that means is that, for example, typical speech or conversation that we're having, you're hearing that at around 60, 70 decibels. Now, if you're firing your gun, a typical firearm generates about 155, 160 decibels of noise. So, and the pain threshold, any noise above around 140 decibels is painful to our ears. And anything even slightly below that can cause permanent damage if you get enough noise at that level. So let's say if the gunshot is 155 decibels and this is 22 decibels, that means you're effectively getting only 133 decibels of noise through into your ears. So that's how they work. Now, the fact that they're electronic is that these also have microphones on the outside, and they are picking up the ambient noise around you, but they are piping it in so that you're able to actually hear the outside noise through the microphone and through the amplifier that's built into it. It's just that when the noise reaches about 92 decibels, they cut off. So under 92 decibels, you can hear amplified. It's almost like you're hearing a microphone and a set of speakers in your ear, and you're hearing amplified noises around you. And above that, it just cuts off. It's like somebody pulled the plug on your headphones. Your batteries ran out, and that's how they work. Now, you can buy really good earmuffs, protective earmuffs, that are even higher than 22 NRR. In fact, most of the sort of dummy, they're big, non-electronic headphones have a NRR of over 30. So in many ways, those are more protective than these. But these have and these are much more expensive. These are about $50, whereas those non-electronic ones are about $15. So that's a huge price jump. But the ability to hear normal conversations around you at a range is priceless to me, because I want to be able to hear somebody. Before electronic earmuffs were invented, we used to just have to yell at each other, "Yeah, what's going on?" And if you're hearing safety commands from the range safety officers, like cease fire or something like that, it would be good to be able to hear them clearly. So this is why most serious shooters have gone to electronic earmuffs. Anyway, so hopefully that's clear. Let's move on to actually reviewing these. As you can see from the product specs as well as their physical dimensions, the two earmuffs are effectively identical. There are some slight aesthetic differences. The Razors look a little bit more contemporary in terms of industrial design. In my benchmark testing, both were able to reduce sound by 22 to 23 decibels. At the range, both performed well and were comfortable throughout the 3-hour shooting session. And both did work well in rifles equipped with optics, but when using the iron sights or say a shotgun with a bead, both headphones invariably bumped into the stock, which can be annoying. Okay, which do I think is better? And I have to say both. I know that sounds like a total cheat, but to be perfectly honest, I recommend both. They're both good choices, and I'll include a link to both of them in the description below. And that's because both of them really work just as well in terms of the amount of noise that they cancel out, overall comfort, and the features that they have. Now, there are some slight differences. The Walkers have slightly more padding on the headband, and the ear cups are slightly softer. I think more due to the headband shape. That for my particular head, they did squeeze in a little more on the side of my head. Now, for some people, that may cause discomfort. But for my head, I had the benefit of actually providing a slightly more secure ear cup feel than the Howard Leights. Again, not that significant overall, I think. But the significant thing is in the electronics and the sound rendition. Now, the Howard Leights have a 4-hour cutoff feature, automatic cutoff. If you accidentally leave these on, and it's very easy to forget and accidentally leave them on. I've done it more than once, but after 4 hours, it automatically turns itself off. The Walkers do not have that feature, but both of them do very well in terms of battery use, because I accidentally left these on after the range, so it's 72 hours plus later. They're still working. And these have been working on the same batteries for a couple of years now. So both will seem to work very well in terms of energy efficiency. But there are differences in sound rendition, as I mentioned. When you plug in through the auxiliary port, and both have a 3.5-inch jack and come with an included cable to plug the other end into a phone or your computer. In fact, I was using these to edit on one of my other review videos, and these actually were pretty decent headphones to listen to music or news or whatnot. The Howard Leights, not so good. The volume level was really low, and it's dependent on actually the amplification that you set it on the actual headphones. So if you want to hear in sort of a normal amount of volume through the auxiliary jack, you have to actually move the dial up. But the problem is you're also making all the ambient sounds around you louder too. So these were kind of useless as listening to things with. But they were better in terms of what you actually heard of your ambient surroundings. The Walkers are omnidirectional mics, which means that the sound that's picked up by the microphones is coming through almost like mono sound. You'll be hearing sounds from every direction around you, but it'll sound like it's nearby, which is not necessarily a great thing. I was hearing sounds of cars in the parking lot at the range, which is like 50 yards away, and it sounded like a car was backing up behind me. So that's not good. But the Howard Leights sounded much more natural. It sounded like I was not, well, you know, when I'm talking to somebody at the range, it sounds almost like I'm not wearing headphones, which is a good thing. And they're stereo directional, so if somebody's calling out to me, I can tell if that person is slightly behind me, if they're to my right, to my left. And as a range safety officer, you want to know if somebody's calling out for assistance, which direction that person is. So these are definitely better for rendering sounds. The sound that you're hearing around you in the walkers sounds artificial. It sounds like a sound coming from a microphone that's being played through an amplifier in your headset. It doesn't sound natural. So in that respect, the Howard Lights have an advantage. But both of them are perfectly adequate for range use. Anyway, I'll list a full list of the differences at the end of this video for you. But before I go, I just wanted to say thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed this, please hit the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel, because it really encourages me to make more videos like this. In the end, these are the key differences that I found. Some may be irrelevant to you and others may be deal breakers. Hopefully this helps you decide. You be safe out there. Moondog out. Hey, if you like this video, please share it on social media. You know, Facebook, forums, MeWe, whatever platform you're on. And if you want to see more videos, check out moondogindustries.com.